All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Till the Dirt. This is the Shahs Rewatch, where we rewatch old episodes with some dirties. And this week we got another dirty back. Derek, introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up? My name is Derek. Tommy was nice enough to have me last season. I think we did episode one of season two, and
Yep.
now we're back for season three. So thanks for having me back.
No, absolutely. I thought you were great. I'm looking, and this won't be I mean, anytime that I ask, hopefully you'll come because I definitely like to have you back more. I think you're great, and you fit real well. You know what the assignment is, like as the kids like to say.
I did my
Uh,
homework last night, so hopefully this works out.
okay, yeah. So we're doing season. We're up to season three. Oh my God, where does the time go? And we're doing season three, episode two. And I got to start off by saying I like this episode more than the first episode. Are you fully caught up? Are you like
Yeah, I just caught up last night. I watched like the end of season two and then hopped into season three. And yeah, not much really happened last episode.
yeah, it
So
was kind of
it's
just like I get it. It was kind of just like an introduction to what's going on, planting a few seeds, but it wasn't, there wasn't a ton going on. Like there's a lot more in this episode going on than there was in last. Um, and we open up, I thought, with Mike and my wife expressing Julio's anal glands
yeah,
was
a very weird way to open the episode.
100, and not just that, like again, I've been in this world or this sphere for a long time. I haven't seen any of these episodes, but you hear things and things trickle down or trickle through. Like I know my wife put a dog in, put Pablo in the freezer when he died. I
That's
know.
like probably one of the Hall of Fame weird things
Yeah, you
MJ
know what I mean? Or even
did.
last week when she said guilty men with flowers. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there's
yep.
things that kind of seep in and I never heard of this scene.
I forgot all about it. My favorite part was just the fact that they're doing this, but also if you're kind of paying attention, the whole living room is covered with a tarp, like
Yeah,
like
that's
the
basically like
entire
where'd they
living
get the
room.
fucking tarp from? That's what you and I are the same wave. Like that's all I was thinking too. No one even made mention of the fact that where'd they get the tarp? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That looked like it covered the Los Angeles, the Dodgers infield. You know what I
seriously.
mean? In a rain delay.
Yeah.
Where'd that thing come from?
It was like a
Um,
termite tent, so it was just dropped over
but
the
I
house.
listen. I give Mike credit, man. I do. Mike, as we know, and for obvious reasons, Mike deserves to get the pile of shit that gets dropped on his head a lot.
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
but he manned up. I would
Yeah.
never. I would Julio. Like Julio was my dog too. Like it's her
hmm
dog, yes, but like he got taken by a coyote here, and
Okay, yeah,
I
that
miss
was
Julio. Like Julio is my dog too. I would and he had a couple of different injuries in his life that like because he was little, so like
mhm.
if he jumped from somewhere big, he might hurt his foot or something. That I noticed, like I would be like, oh, he's not failing. Give him an exam and kind of feel where the injury. Oh, and then he bark and we find it. That happened a couple of times, but I would never,
You didn't you didn't
never
you didn't feel
do
for an
what I
injury
did.
inside his butthole?
No shot, dude. No shot. That's an exit point, bro. It's not for entry. You know what I mean? But that was a funny scene. It was a funny
Yeah.
scene. And I love how they're all going to tell my wife she has a drinking problem again when they all sat there and drank fucking 50 shots. It's like,
Well,
it's funny to me.
to be fair, you could use some shots before doing
Oh,
that.
100, listen, shots. I would have shot at everyone. You know what I mean? There's no fucking way I would do that. And then we go shopping with with Gigi and Lily, and
There wasn't much to this. We're getting
yeah,
to the
because
point
there's literally
where,
not much to them in terms of like
yeah,
their bodies. Like Lily is just, I don't know, man. I don't want to give like because she said something on the last reunion that I thought was actually pretty salient when she said that, you can never say anything about fat people because like all of a sudden you're like being a fattest, but you could say that it's all right to say shit about skinny people. You know what I mean?
hmm
And
yeah.
I don't want to rub that, but like someone needs to give this chick a sandwich, dude. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's all. Like yo,
I think she said the size 23 waist was too big. So
yeah,
yeah.
no, it's baggy on her. It was like, give her a bag of potato chips, dude. Something. You know what I mean? That's all I'm sitting there looking at.
There's one thing
But
here though that there's a character I didn't remember, and he pops up at the end of the episode too. Gigi's new boyfriend. I forgot all about this guy. I didn't remember him at all.
again, it's another blind spot for me is her any of these relationships. You know what I mean? Like even
Mhm.
the Omid one, I didn't realize the extent that it was and how it was, and you
I
know,
feel like he was kind of his own character a bit too, though, where this Sean guy is just kind of like an accessory
yeah, this
of
is her
Gigi.
boyfriend. This is her
Yeah.
quote unquote boyfriend. But yeah, I never heard of him. I don't know how. It's one of the things that I'm looking forward to, I guess. But I'm a little intrigued about is I don't know any of these relationships, so I don't know where they go. I don't know how they come. I
Mhm.
don't know how they leave. So I'm
Well,
interested
I'll
to
tell
kind
you,
of
he's
see
leaving
that.
quick.
Yeah, yeah. But I was also very shocked to hear her talk about, and I don't want to get too far ahead because but like in this scene, the one with Lily, um, we see that she and Lily are kind of friending up.
Hmm.
Prior to this, they really
Almost like a
weren't.
second chance, maybe
Ye-
because they didn't really get a proper friendship before, maybe, or it's
Maybe,
being forced.
or maybe I think Gigi's also trying um smartly to align herself with other people so that she doesn't get exiled again, right?
Do
Because it
you
was real
think?
easy for her to get exiled the last time because she didn't really have any allies, and she was acting crazy. Where
Yep.
now, if she's kind of mellowed down, which she's trying to do, and you can see that she hasn't threatened to fight anyone yet this year. Um, so I think that she might be trying to, mend fences and grow, because that's the other part too. And we get this a little, well, again, not to jump too far, but the coming scenes for the next episode, or even at the end of the dinner scene when Gigi's telling my wife that she'll never forget, it's forever, and like
Uh
it's
huh.
just it seems all over the top, but in the sense she just kind of met my wife with the filming, so it's
Right.
not like they have a long history together, you know what I mean? So it's not like so she's still trying to measure her, and
Do
both
you?
ways, I guess. But
Here's a question for you that I don't know if you can answer, but do you think that after season two, everyone thought, this Lily isn't really working out, but for some reason, the producers or executives, or whoever it was, wanted to keep her around? Do you think the core cast was like, she isn't going to be back, and then she does come back, and they're like, well, I guess we got to make the best of it.
well, I think there's an element to what you're saying in big picture from 10,000 feet, that like even with production, how does this chick fit? But I
Yeah.
think enough went down at the reunion, believe it or not,
So I missed the
where it
reunion.
was
I'm gonna
like,
have to go
let's
back
bring
and
Lily
watch
back
that.
in the fold, because there was some shit that when she was good at the reunion. You know what I mean? She was good. Um, Prior to that, she didn't even exist in season two to me. You know what I mean? It was more like a
Yep.
nuisance. Like she'd pop up and it's like, oh, her again? Because
And she was
it
on her
didn't
own. She
flow in
wasn't
this.
with the group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it didn't flow with the story. You know what I mean? Of everybody's story. Just they kind of sandwiched her in the spots. But the reunion, she was good. And yeah, I think that you're right to an extent. It's like, all right, well, she's gonna, because I definitely, these people don't mesh
Mm-mm.
with Lily. So I think that once cameras went down, nobody was hanging out with Lily.
Oh,
You know what I
absolutely
mean?
not. I
Like
don't
that
think
she's
so
not,
either.
I don't think that they fit in the world. So I think that now that they're back, you're right. I think that, there's an element of, well, she's back. Let me try and, because it's all about allies on these shows. You know what
Yep.
I mean? It's all about, and we'll see you later at the, when, hi, buddy. And we see it later when, Lily's kind of like gets upset that no one stuck up and no one said anything at the dinner, because you're kind of always looking for that person to validate what you're saying.
Right.
Otherwise, you're kind of out on an island just shouting at the ocean. You know what I mean? From there, we go to Asa
This
and
might be my
the
favorite part of the episode.
fucking, oh my God, Asa and the diamond water. And the bottle is so unique.
Oh, okay.
It's more
I
like,
will say this. The bottle is kind of cool. And it would catch my attention on the shelf, minus the whole this is blessed with juju bullshit. But
well, I'll take it a step further.
mhm,
You cannot make this bottle of water without the bottle. It has to
yeah.
be that. I agree
It
with her.
needs something else to
It
stick out.
has
Yeah.
to be that bottle. It has to have the diamond. It has to, you know what I mean? It can't, she can't alter it. But like the idea that it's so unique, no, it's so stupid. That's why no one's done this before
Yep.
because it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like you have to change, you have to buy new equipment. It's not unique. Plenty of people have made water before and they realize, oh no, you can't do that with the bottle. You know what I mean? Um, but
And
again,
so again though, last season it was all about look at all this stuff Asa's doing, and I think you mentioned it in a previous episode that they're making Asa look better than she is, a better singer than she is. She's a businesswoman. But now this season, I don't ever remember her going back to ever record music again.
no, no,
She
like,
had her successful
done. It's
festival.
done. You'll never hear
And
because I know from the moment I walked onto this picture, I never heard about fucking music. I never heard about any of that shit. And
exactly. And now we're back to the water, and this is a failure now too.
oh,
So
of monumental proportions. You know what I mean? Like, because again, it's with a wink in the eye that she's like, yeah, it's about love, whatever. Like, she even
mhm.
said that. She's like, yeah, and the love, and that's all going in there too. Because it's like at this point, you spend a lot of money thinking
And I'm
that
not sure it's any of her money. She keeps mentioning her investors, so
yeah,
she's
I don't
spending
think
other
it's
people's money.
I don't think it's a ton of her money. Whatever it is, if it's $10, it's too much. You know,
Yeah,
it wasn't thought out enough. Like she has the idea for the bottle, and like I said, I agree with her. Like it's diamond water. It's about the whole thing that she's selling is the diamond coming through. If you don't have a diamond somewhere in there, then it's just fucking water. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So she's kind of she's tied herself to it. And I don't know how she's going to come up with that. But like you're in for a nickel, in for a dime too. You know what I mean? You
yep,
can't now say, wow, forget it's 500,000 more. I guess we're done. You've already spent all this. You got to go out there and try and come up with the money. But I do know that nobody on this show is going to be like, let's go, let's partner up. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And then we see,
Can we talk about before we jump out
go
of
ahead.
this, when she's going to the factory, she balks at the fact that she has to take her jewelry off and wear a hairnet. Like, hello, you're working with like food and water, and you're just
But
I
it's
don't.
not just that. Like that to me, again, this goes to even her show that she did last year, the show. She showed up for rehearsals the day before. Like, this is the first time you've come to the fucking factory.
Yeah,
You've
put
cut
some
these
effort in.
checks, these big ass checks, and you've never come there and seen what the process is. How does this work? How does this get bottled? You know what I mean? This is so it's like, again, for me being on these shows or being on, not these, but being on the show or being on a reality show, it's like, this looks produced to me. It looks like you don't
Yeah,
give a
it
shit about, you know what I'm saying? Like,
she's
you
acting like
think
this
that
is
if
months and months of work, and then the factory can't even have bottles stay on their own. This is like day one
yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
there was no sketches. You didn't have any fucking meetings. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
this is
something doesn't
someone
add
that's
up.
like, I know what I'll do. I'll put it on TV, and anything that goes on TV will sell,
Yeah.
and it will work because it's on TV. It sounds like a stanza. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's on TV. People will buy it.
It's like the
And
Shark
there
Tank
wasn't
thing.
much to it.
Like
It's like
they
the
don't
same
even.
thing with the music. Oh, if I
Yeah,
sing on television, people will buy my albums. Like, no, and go back and listen or watch that episode. They never show her singing. You know what I mean? They
no,
don't
it's
ever
always on a
show her singing.
backtrack.
They show
Yeah,
her hopping around and fucking, rallying the crowd and getting them fired up. But they never actually show her singing because she's fucking terrible. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I've
Um,
I've worked in the music business and done a ton of live concerts, and it was all vocal track. It was none of her voice. So yeah, it was
Nothing.
just
You know what I
obvious. Yeah,
mean? And but again, that's one of those things where I get upset because like at that, if you watch the reunion for that season, for season two, she talks about how the editors all favored MJ and they made MJ look good and they set MJ up to look better. The editors could have destroyed Asa if they wanted to,
yeah.
just by showing her lack of talent in that
I thought they
episode.
made her look
And
a
they
lot better
didn't.
than she is.
They
Yeah,
didn't. They made it look like she was like she's a Persian pop priestess, and you know
yeah.
what I mean. And she had her own concert, and they made it look like she did way better than she did. Now, I'm not
Yeah,
trying
I
to take
agree.
anything away from her because it takes a lot to go on stage and do that type of thing, especially when you have mediocre talent. You know what I mean? To do that in front of a room full of people with cameras, hats off to her. I'm sure her son will grow up with confidence because she's a confident person to be able to do something like that. That being said, she's the one that talks about being mortified and embarrassed this episode if this diamond water fails. So I know it's something that, if things don't go well, she feels it. And like, this is diamond water. I can't see how it's gonna go well. I just I like at no part, and it's water. You know what I mean? So it's not like, oh, I want to taste that water.
Yeah.
It's fucking water, dude. Like, how good could it be?
Right.
Um, then we go to Mike's. Mike's at the office working hard. As you can see, he's making prank phone calls to his brother. Now,
But
how do
Reza
you
has
feel
got
about?
his own clients. It's like this is a weird partnership where it's like, is it? It's like it's just a promotional partnership. Really, they're just kind of still doing their own
Well, I'm
thing.
curious to what you think because you live in LA, man, and
Uh-huh.
I thought it would. I didn't realize that you did. Otherwise, I would have done this one with you earlier because we're on the same time zone, so it's easier. But um, I didn't like you throw a rock out here and you'll hit six real estate agents. You know what I
Minimum.
mean? So I know you know a bunch of them.
Yep.
Um, I don't know who's at fault here because I know realtors too, not just LA, but New York. Like I know people in real estate, and I understand what Reza is saying, where you got to see the inventory. Like that's the
Yep.
most important thing. You got to go out and you got to see inventory. You got to see what's available, what's out there on the market. But I do feel like in a partnership, there should be some hand holding. It shouldn't just be go see inventory and then get back to me. It should be let's go see inventory together so that you could tell me what's important. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
what's like when he says you get a great view of the valley and you get a peekaboo view of downtown. That's a
Mhm.
real estate saying. You know what I mean? Like that's someone that like he sells real estate. That's why he's saying that. Mike's
And
not going to know that unless like you need someone. But I also understand Rez's standpoint where Mike's like, all right, it's the same thing as Asa. I know we'll put a picture on a bus and people will just call us because
yeah.
people in Beverly Hills usually buy their real estate from sitting on bunch beds ads and bus ads. You know what I mean? Like
And Mike's coming
that's
from a commercial space, which commercial and residential real estate, a lot of people might think they're very similar, but they're extremely different businesses. They're
talked about it
totally
last week.
different. Yeah.
Completely different. Completely
Yeah.
different. Yeah. So I think that so like, who do you think is right or wrong, or do you think it's like it's kind of even Steven?
I don't know what their agreement was, but if anything, Reza should have been like, hey, this is my client. I'm still taking the commission, but you should come with me to these meetings. So I kind of see what you're saying too. I'm not saying give half your commissions to Mike straight off the bat, but have him tag along with you and show him the ropes so you guys can grow into the future where it's not just like Mike's just sitting at the office, like diddling his thumbs, and then Reza's out hustling, supposedly. It doesn't seem like a real partnership. Yeah, it's just a billboard.
I think what you just said was perfect. Yeah, man. This ain't listen. This is my client already. I know him a long time. This is going to be my money, but I want us to work well together. Come and
Yep.
see. Just stand there, be a fly on the wall, and just see how I present the listing and all that good stuff. So but like you said, I don't think I think it was very TV. We'll be partners. High
Yeah.
five. We're going to dominate Beverly Hills. But I don't think anybody ever sat down and said, "What does that really look like?"
Yeah, I don't know if they really had anything like a written contract deal other than this is going to work because we're on TV.
Yeah, yeah. I really feel like that's what, and I think a lot of that, I think a lot of that's Mike. I think that Mike thinks it's the same thing with the moving company, the shoes.
Yeah.
I think Mike thinks that if I just put something on television, it will sell, and to a certain extent, that works. But
Sure.
you gotta, it's only gonna go so far, dude. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to, there's only so much runway with that. You're gonna actually have to put some work in at some point, and I think that's what's hard for Mike.
Yeah, I've known a couple houses that have used like some of the quote unquote famous realtors here in LA and they don't show up. So it's like and then they get dropped. It's like
Yep.
okay, you're on TV, but you're not selling my house. I need you to sell my house.
Yep.
So yeah,
Real talk, real talk. That's
yeah,
why people are not in a rush to work with the realtors that are on television because it's
right.
like, I want my house sold. And a lot of times they just come, like you said, they show up to film it and then look at this, ooh, what, and but that don't come on for 6 months later. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And you don't do any more
I want
work.
my
I'm
house
like, oh, it's
gone
going
by
to be
then.
on the
Yeah.
show. It's like, I can't wait 6 months, dude. I got bill collectors. I'm trying to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or I have
exactly.
other plans. And, you're telling me that that's your plan is we're just going to wait till this comes out a year from now. But and those people don't last. That's why like
Yeah.
Altman, he's all over fucking town, bro.
Yeah.
Like that
He's
dude,
a hustler. He's a real hustler. Yeah.
take him off TV, dude, and he'll probably sell more. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He definitely he knows his shit, and he sells a ton of real estate. Then we go back again to Asa with the engineer. They all looking at this lady like she's fucking nuts. We kind of harped on it already. I
Yeah.
agree with her though. I do agree that the bottle has to look the way she
That's the only thing it
thinks.
has. That's the only like advantage it
Yeah,
might have. Yeah.
otherwise, what's the
Yeah.
difference between that and any other bottle of water that's already been out in the marketplace and people already are familiar with?
Yeah, I agree.
Her niche or her difference is the diamond aspect of it. And if you remove that, then what are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that.
Then we go to Gigi, MJ, and Layla. And I think I know I've mentioned on the pod, I've had her a guest too. Layla and I definitely have a better or stronger relationship than Gigi and I. I barely have ever associated with Gigi outside of filming. Layla and
Right.
I hang, we talk,
Layla seems
whatever.
really
I
cool. I
had
mean,
no
she seems
idea
real and cool. Yeah, I like her.
that her husband cheated on her in their bed
Oh, okay.
with
You didn't know that.
I
Okay.
didn't know that because that's something I think that just comes up in
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what
You're
I
not you're
mean?
not bringing that up at the dinner party.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. She talks about him like he's the Antichrist. You know what I mean? I get it. But I'm a guy too, so I always
Yeah.
know there's two sides to every story.
Well, and the
You know
fact
what
that
I
her
mean?
kids are there though too, and the kids
That's
are
what I'm saying.
saying
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
"Hey,
It's
uh,
I gotta give it this one.
yikes."
I gotta give it this one. Men, I think that nowadays there's a lot of attacks on men in a lot of ways, but this is real piece of shit, big shit type of behavior, and he
Yeah,
makes us all look bad
when your
because
kid's
that
telling
is
you about
no
the new
good, dude.
girlfriend.
And there's fucking cameras, like
Yeah.
what the fuck, you know what I mean? And then he tells the kid that's never gonna happen. The kid
Oh
has a
yeah,
wish.
she said she asked I want the family to get back together for Christmas or something like that. And
Yeah,
he's like,
I
"Yeah,
think he
no."
took the penny out of the fountain and he was like, threw that the other way. Nah, kid. You know what I mean? And guess what? Santa's not real. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
might as well just kick her while she's down.
Yeah, man, that fucking well, that's not a good look for him, dude. It's definitely not a good look. And more importantly, like I would harbor resentment toward that dude forever. It's I realize that forgiveness for people is very important. It's something that we all need to do, but that would be real hard for me to forgive, dude.
Yeah.
That'd be real hard.
So right after that, I'm glad you mentioned that Gigi and you guys are not close even to this day, really. Because she says a weird line. I actually wrote it down. I think she's in an interstitial, and she goes, "MJ and I are really close. Now she's like family." Like, is she?
Yeah, no, and then a few seasons later, she's like, "Yeah, she tells her, I'll never forget that you disinvited me from the birthday
Yeah.
last year. Like, I'll remember that forever." That's the line I was talking about. I'll remember that forever. And my wife's like, "Forever?" She's like, "Yeah, forever." Until these persons are always so over the top with shit like that too. Like, it's like
Yeah,
a
they've been
scar
like
forever.
the last couple episodes between MJ and Gigi. They've been saying really weird things to each other.
Yeah, I love like. They can talk about each other the way they talk about each other, which, that would be the reason I never speak to someone forever. You know what
Yeah,
I
it's,
mean?
it's
But
very
no, but that you
hyperbolic.
can speak like that. That's fine. You just didn't invite me to your birthday, and that I'll never forget. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? like what? Oh man.
Then we
Yeah,
got Reza and Adam
Reza called
moving
my
in
wife a
together.
bank robber on
Yeah.
television. And she's like, "That's all right, but don't fucking invite me. You better invite me to your birthday."
Yeah, right.
It's crazy. These persons are so fucking wacky. And then, Reza and Adam, we see kind of living together or moving in together. And I got to tell you, man, I do think that was in real poor taste. That Reza said that I'm moving into a place that, because Adam can only afford this.
I think he had to address it because on camera that place does not look great. I'll tell you
But
what.
what was his place that he came from? The
I
apartment
don't
that he had? It was
yeah,
a
I don't know that
condo.
that was any better, but
You know what I mean? Why not just move into his condo then if it was so much better than having to pay half the rent? You know
I
what I
think he
mean?
threw
Like,
Adam under the bus. He could have just
yeah, like it's,
said he
and
could have
again,
said we're on a budget
Adam,
or something. I don't know.
not
Yeah.
just that, Adam is so early in the relationship, he's not going to get a talking head. So he's not going to get his side of it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? He's not going to get a like, oh no, we was only supposed to be for 8 months, and if it was only to be 8 months, this is all I wanted to pay. You never know what other things went into it. I just thought it was unnecessary to be like, yeah, Adam's poor and he can't afford this, so but he wants to be even. Because that also makes him look better too. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
downgrade myself for him. Where it's
Yeah,
like
like he's
it's all that.
sacrificing for him. Yeah.
Yeah, like all of it was just. I just felt like it was unnecessary.
Well, I'm just gonna put
Um.
it out there right now, anyways, that I am not a fan of Adam at all.
Oh
So
man, I like
I guess
it's.
I'm kind of on Reza's side a little bit
Oh
here,
man, I
but
like.
yeah.
But I thought, treat you like a real Iranian wife, and I'm gonna beat you. Was like, it's a slippery slope line, bro. Again, these are like one of the things you can never say today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the reason Reza
Imagine
likes him
Mike
though is because
delivering that line under
he's like a pushover though. I mean, Adam's a pushover,
totally.
and
Yeah,
which
yeah.
why I think Reza sees appeal there too because he can do whatever he wants,
Yes, he could say whatever he
including
wants. He could
beating
he
him, I
could
guess.
be whatever he wants. He could use him as a verbal punching bag if necessary.
Yeah,
Yes, he definitely is up. Like if there's a hierarchy in the relationship, Rez is definitely a lot higher than Adam, and I think that he likes that.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons that my wife has problems. Or my wife and I will have problems. It's Persians too. Lily's the same way. I don't know if it's all Persians or it's in this group. They have a very domineering like what they think goes first. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
some things it's not like let's have a conversation and let's figure it out. It's like no, I said it this way, so this is how I want it, and you're supposed to just be like, well, okay. You know what
that
I
goes back
mean?
to that goes back to the Lily thing where she's wasted 10 years with that guy and he's like, well, I don't like your business, so you need to quit, and she's like, well, screw
Yes.
off. Yeah.
Be a Persian wife. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And she's like, no, fuck that. So it came at it from both places. So, I think that's, and then it's good foreshadowing. Then we go to this dinner with
Oh,
Lily's brother. Like, all I got, how the fuck could have anybody, like, it's one thing if they're your family, right? But like, if let's say you were over as a guest, I would never have been able to sit in that house for longer than 10 minutes hearing the
my note
voices
was my
of
note
these
was
people.
why do we even need to see Lily anymore?
Yeah, but the brother's voice, she was
She's
right.
awful.
People
Yeah.
talk about my voice. The brother's voice was worse. The brother, like, I don't know how anyone could have listened to these people for a long time. It's just something in there, like the way they talk. It gave me such a headache. But I felt like he got the note from her ex-husband or her ex-boyfriend, whatever. Like he came there to shit on her, dude, talking about
Yeah.
fucking your eggs are getting rotten. You know what I mean? Get with the program.
Yeah, what is
Um,
she, 30 at this point? And he's like, yeah, you're
yeah,
dying.
that's it. That's it. That's it. Hang it up. Hang it up. You know, yeah. So it definitely it does give you a little bit more of an idea, though, about her family aspect. Like she definitely thinks that or the family they come from is, I'm sure, very highfalutin. You know what I mean? That they think that they're putting on dinner parties and they're doing. She's definitely in the wrong batch with these other Persians. Is all
Yeah,
I'm saying.
I'm starting to see why she wanted to get out of there too and move to
Yes,
LA and kind of do her own thing.
yes, yes, and I can also kind of see why she didn't last on the show.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was mutual. You know what I mean? I don't think that she was begging to get back on Shahs. I think if once it kind of was like, yeah, we're not bringing you back, I think she was all right, best because it just doesn't fit. Like she doesn't
Yeah.
fit. She's like again with this batch of Persians that they picked. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that if you got a different set of Persians that were very career oriented and family driven, and they didn't drink and they didn't party, and that
Yeah, she just
she
hasn't
might have
found her
fit very well,
crew.
but they
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have been very entertaining on television.
No,
You know what
absolutely
I
not.
mean? And like they picked a bunch of Persians that are wild that could make for good reality television, and she just doesn't fit into the fold at all.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. She just hasn't found her crew.
Yeah, yeah. And Layla, then we see Layla, Gigi's boyfriend, Sean, I think his name is, MJ. They're back at the house because my wife's gonna try and help her sell it. And Gigi saying that she needs someone to be very lovey-dovey and hands. I thought, like to me, she strikes me as the complete opposite of that. You know what I mean? As that she doesn't want you hanging all over her and
Yeah.
kissing on her. Like I was like, so I learn new things about Gigi all the time watching the show. I'm not like that surprised me. I didn't think that that's something that she liked.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of wrote that this kind of feels forced too, although she does kind of like gush over him a little bit
Little
at
bit.
one point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but again, and I agree with you. The force aspect nature of it. Like, I don't think she gives two shits about this guy. Like, he can get
No.
hit by a fucking bolt of lightning. I don't think she gives a shit. You know what I mean? I think that she wants to have a boyfriend on TV. You know what I
Yep.
mean? I think that she wants to be in like a relationship. I think she feels that's good. But I don't think she's being disingenuous when she's saying that she wants someone to give her all the attention because she's obviously a big attention whore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She loves attention. Everybody on the show is. I don't mean that as a slight on her.
No, no,
Everyone on
no.
the
It's
show is.
natural.
Anybody on
Yeah.
reality TV, for the most part, is a big attention whore. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't have
Um,
accepted to be on the show if you weren't like that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's just like that's. There's got to be some aspect to you of that, But I think that and I side with Gigi on this. I think that Gigi was right, like about with my wife and accepting the invite. You know what I mean? You should have just accepted it. Don't fucking make it a big deal, which you did, and you threw it out, and you made it a big deal, and then it's last minute, and then don't put yourself in the position that you have to, that this is even an argument. Be the better. Be the better person. If you want to be the better, just accept the invite. I'll be there. I'll see you. But by making it more of a thing, now it's a thing. And she don't like
Yep.
you and you don't like her. And now you put a thing in the middle of it. So it's obviously going to metastasize and grow into a bigger snowball. You know what I mean?
I thought this is where you and I, Tommy, would have our biggest argument of the episode, but we are simpatico here because I was gonna say MJ opened it. She acknowledged she opened it. And then she's like, who's going to click yes or no? You're already there. Just click yes then if it's going to be such an issue.
And not just that, Lily, and I know what she's talking about, like we had with the wedding invite when we sent our wedding invite.
That dinner
You could
was
tell
like a
how many
real
times
dinner.
someone opened
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she said you opened it 6 times. So you looked at it 6 times and you didn't. That's being passive aggressive and not,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Just like yes or no, dude. One or the other. Like don't make it a thing. And she made it a thing. You know what I mean? To her credit, though, to my wife's credit, I don't think she was ever going to go unless Reza came to her house and fucking did what he did. So I don't think she gave a shit one way or the other.
You
You know
don't
what I
think like
mean?
while it was happening, if she got a text from like Reza, like, hey, I'm having a great time, blah, 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 she wouldn't have been like, oh, I should have gone.
Well, no, because they still were kind of like they hadn't mended their fence yet. Not to say that the
Sure.
fence is completely mended, but they hadn't really spoke since the reunion. They had seen a couple of times, but there still was a lot of tension there. So I don't think there would have been I don't think that there would have been those text messages. Now that he saw her and told her to come, and now there's a reason for those text messages. And like you said, and like Mike said, it would have been more fun with her there, and it
Yeah.
guaranteed would have been. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like it
But
looked like
also, it's on Reza to be like, I what did he say? He said something like Lily wants you to be like at security and then security like push you away and make it a whole scene. And then later on, he's like, "Oh, that was actually a dream I had that never actually happened." But he told MJ like she wants to make a whole scene to deny you at the door. That was
Yeah,
kind of shitty too.
but Lily also said, "No, I never said that." And then they show her saying basically the same exact thing. Like if she comes here, she's not getting in,
Yeah,
And and again, it's just like the theatrics and over, like just over the topness of like a 30 fucking year old's birthday party. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like what do you think?
And
It's just
prom themed also. Come on.
yeah. Um, I did like when it looked like just a throw in when Jordan, Layla's daughter, who I like, Jordan's a big girl now, dude. Like, and
Mhm.
she's a woman, not a woman, but she's ready getting ready to go to college and whatnot. But when she's doing the cheer in front of
Oh yeah, yeah.
Gigi, and Gigi's like, be a doctor.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. I don't know
That
why.
was
I
pretty
wrote
funny.
that down. I didn't think that was funny. Um, but then, yeah, so now we go to another bloodbath, or as they like to call them, cast dinners.
I I
'Cause
kind of forgot now that I'm rewatching this is like if everyone's having dinner together, it's gonna be drama.
yes, 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 yes. Well, again, they're paying. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like the production's paying, dude. That's what they're looking for at these dinners, dude. They're not looking for you to come there and not eat dinner, you know? Um, like I remember when my wife and we shot a scene at the Korean barbecue, and I stuffed my fucking face this place, dude, to the point that they shut us down. They're like, you can't order any more food. And you guys have to start
That's a
talking.
badge
I
of
don't remember
honor.
even what the scene was about. I think it was something to do with Mike or whatever. And I was like, I had lobsters coming out of my face. I'm like, oh, all right, okay. So, yeah, that's not so, like you're there to shoot, you're there to work, right? You're there to do
Yeah.
some reality television. But I think it was the first year too, so I wasn't getting paid. You know what I mean? So like, no one's paying. Like I'm eating the fucking steak and the lobster, dude.
Yeah, get after it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But I digress. So it's funny though because in the first whatever, um, they're having a good time. You know what I mean? They're
And
having a good time.
they purposely, I think, had Lily show up last because Mike comes on beforehand and he goes, "We're having a really good time, and it's great when you have real friends having a real good time." And they really emphasize it. And then 3 seconds later, Lily shows up.
Derek, man, I don't know, dude. You're a fucking sharp guy, bro. I think you might actually watch too much reality television because that is
I know all the tricks
producing
now.
101, dude. If you don't think that that was purposely set up that fucking way,
Oh
not
yeah.
to mention to have them all start drinking because she's a stick in the mud. She's not going to walk in and be like, shot, shot, shots. She's
Yep.
going to walk in and be like, oh, you guys are all drinking. You know what I mean? So, like, even Gigi's boyfriend, the one fucking thing he said was shots. And she was
Yep.
like, I don't drink. And he's like, oh, fuck. I guess I'll
Yeah.
go back to being quiet. But yeah, no, it's a wonderful point. That whole thing was set up to be like that. Um, my wife, yeah, I looked like her tits looked gigantic when she walked in there. It looked like
I think
Goodyear versus like Firestone in a blimp race, right? The dead heat, the Zeppelin race.
even
Um,
Reza was like, "It looks like you got a boob job."
yeah,
Like,
no, they were
whatever she was doing
gigantic.
worked.
Like those things came to dinner before she did. They were the first ones to sit down. Um, but yeah, then we get a little bit of Mike and Layla, and
That was funny.
I
They mentioned they broke the bed.
yeah,
So that was
I think I don't I think this has been told before, but Mike and Layla, while he was with Jessica, like
oh,
they
here we
yeah,
go.
they like the day of his uh engagement party. You know what I mean? Like he
That
was
would have been right around this time because he was getting
yeah,
pretty
no,
serious with Jessica during this filming, and she
and
wasn't at the dinner, I should mention.
Layla is no stranger to the pickle. As anybody who knows that watches or listens to the pod,
I think
she
you
is the
call her the
pickle
queen of the
chaser.
pickle chaser.
When she got out of that divorce, she wanted, homeboy was fucking in her bed. She wanted to prove a point too that she could do her thing as well. I know it's probably been a little bit dry for her, the dry season for the last maybe year or two, but prior to that, Layla was out and about. She wasn't holding things back. Let's just put it that way. So that conversation might have been more than that. I don't know. I'm not, and again, I hope I'm not saying things that I think that's out there. You're looking at me like you never heard that. Now I'm
It's
worried
news.
because I don't know if
News. It's news
I
to
think
me,
what I
but I'm
said has
not
been
sure about
told
the
before
world.
on the show. If not, then allegedly, as people like to say, allegedly, everything of the things I just said, that's allegedly. I don't know more than that. Um, then
I'm glad we got on this podcast because I get to learn new things about Shahs too. So this is
okay,
nice.
perfect, perfect. And then then the wet blanket does walk into the room, and there is a lot of the like. I You want to know who this meal missed? Sammy. Because Sammy would say something. Sammy would say, "Shut the fuck! Like, stop arguing like this. Let's figure it out." Like they just sat there and cackled at each other while other people like looked at like their fingernails and didn't say anything. Which I'm surprised.
Asa's worried about the food coming.
Yeah, she sold down the pizza. She doesn't give two shits about what they're talking about. And I'm surprised because obviously, one, it's a reality show, so everybody is supposed to have an opinion. But this crew, you know, they 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 never lack for putting in their voice. Like if
Yep.
50 Cent, his rap name is 50 Cent because 50 cents of every dollar out on the street is supposed to come to him. That's where that name comes from.
Uh-huh.
If these people had a rap name, it would be 2 Cent because they put their 2 cents in everything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very surprised. They all sat there silently and no one said anything, and it kind of got drawn on. Then Lily left because I do think at the crux of it, like Lily was really expecting some of them to be like, "No, we're your friend too." When I
Yeah.
think that, again, and it's nothing personal. I think that if the show wasn't involved, none of these people would talk to her. Reza
No,
probably.
no.
Reza likes that she's, in his mind,
She's a
pretty.
toy
She got the
accessory.
fake boobs. She's skinny. And she has money. She loves designer brands. Reza likes that. So I think he'd still be friends with her. But outside of then, anyone else, I don't like, they just don't mesh. So I don't think that any of them would be friends with her. Where my wife is the life of the party,
Yeah.
like, I don't know if they'll tell her deepest, darkest secrets. I don't know if you'll confide in my wife like that, or if like you have a really tough time in life, if you're gonna be, she's gonna be the first person that they call. I don't know about that, but I know like if we're looking to just fucking hang, everyone there is going to pick MJ before fucking Lily. You know what I mean? So
I agree.
she kind of painted herself into a corner by expecting people to be like, and my wife, that's how they are too. Like, everyone's my friend here. They're not your friend. You're fucking old
Yeah.
40, bro. Grow the fuck up. You know what I mean?
But
So,
I think this is the point too where MJ's like, you know what? I'm not playing with you anymore, bitch. This is like my show, my crew, and you're just over there. And these are my friends, not your friends. So beat it.
Derek,
Basically.
I give it to you again, man. I gotta go. I gotta go through your phone, man. See if you're fucking banging my wife because that's her. That you just said exactly what the fuck she's thinking at that point in time. She got her ass kicked
I think
on
she
the
was an
reunion.
annoyance before, and now
She
it's
got
it's
her ass
beyond
kicked
that.
on the reunion by Lily. To this day, my wife knows that. We talked about it on the last podcast. She knows that really she ain't having that shit no more, bro. You know what I mean? Like it's like no, no, no. And now you got to do this fucking birthday party, and you made me look fucking bad. I'm
Yep.
coming here, and these are my friends, dude. You know what I mean? You don't like it, you can kick fucking rocks. I know Reza 20 years. I know Michael. Like in theory, she does know everybody there longer than Lily. So it's you're right. Like she came there and like she wasn't, that was going to be what that was going to be. It was never going to be cordial. It was never going to be a fun. The second Lily walked in there, you could see my wife was ready to, because my wife's not good at that. She's not good at a fight. Like in a fight, she doesn't, we're not going to have an argument. You're going to raise a good point and I'm going to raise a counterpoint. It's going to get dirty.
Yeah.
Fast. You know what I'm saying?
So
You're a
this is probably
fucking
bottling up, right?
yeah, you're a hired escort. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like that type of shit is gonna like she's gonna start saying shit like that. True or not true. She's gonna talk, she's gonna get real filthy. Trust me, I fought with my wife. This shit that she said has told me that I still like, 6 years ago that I'm still fucking mad about. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
she's
last season I think she called Asa a disgusting bitch. That was like a pretty like
Yeah,
hardcore,
yeah,
just out
yeah.
of
Again,
nowhere. It was like, wait,
it's not like diamond water. That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my fucking life. It's
yeah,
you're a peasant. You fucking, you know what I mean? Like you're lucky that you came here. You should be drinking out of a puddle. You worthless cunt. You know, like it gets real. But her mom's like that too, dude. Like when they
oh
fight,
my
it's like,
god, I bet.
whoa, bro, whoa, shit. Someone put a bulletproof vest on because shots are fired. You know what I mean? So, but there was definitely the etiquette kind of went out the window. That's the other thing that's like Lily talking to me about etiquette and the proper way of doing it. Have you ever thrown a party? It's like, bitch, you're on reality television, dude. Who the fuck you think you're talking to? This isn't the
Yeah.
aristocrats. You know what I mean? Like, who do you think this isn't? You're not on this with the King and Queen of England, dude. It's fucking a reality television show where people are gonna, that you got to get people to watch, and no one wants to watch the show that or the way you talk. No one wants to watch that. You know what I mean? No one
No.
wants to watch. All right, let's see how we're going to put on a proper dinner party. We're going to put out RSVP guests, and then we're going to do 5 wardrobe changes. Like I said, man, I just feel like she's so out of place with the bunch that she's in. But that's not to say that she's, like I said, man, she's a big success now. She got fucking, she's got friends, whatever. I'm sure she's in the crowd that she's supposed to be in now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what
So
I
the
mean?
the last time we talked was actually the introduction of Lily, and I remember the first time I watched it, I did not like Lily at all. And then we watched that episode, and I was like, maybe I'll give her another chance. She's not that bad. And then as last season went, and then we're into now, I'm like, I remember exactly why I don't like Lily.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and for me, the toughest part always will be the voice. And I'm someone that has a voice of a hummingbird. I have the voice of a generation. So when people talk about my voice, I know they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But I could be a voice like a critic, and her voice is I can't handle it.
She's
But
a
like you
child. I
said,
mean, she's got very childish behavior. She talks like a child. She's got like that Britney Spears thing. Like she's stuck as a child. She's doing a high school theme for her 30th birthday. She's just not like mentally developed as an adult. It's
Well,
strange.
again, it's the entertainment. Like that's entertaining to her, and I get it, man. Like I said, she doesn't drink. She doesn't fucking
Yeah.
like. She's just. I know people like that are just. You know what I mean? Like I have friends like that are my friends because I know them my whole life. You know what I mean? But if I met them right now, I wouldn't be their friend because we're
Yeah.
just so fucking different. You know what I mean? We just like a tree that grew up and branches went in many different directions, but the roots are there because I know them since I'm fucking 10. You know what I mean? So it's just like that's why they're still my friend. But like Lily just doesn't fit in this. I keep going back to that. It's like not even her fault, but it looks terrible because when she opens her mouth, it sounds like she's so judgmental and it sounds like she's so much better than everyone here when you're not. You're just fucking different, dude. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because like none of these people would want to hang out with you. And you probably think that's cool, right? Like, I don't want to hang out with them either. So then what the fuck are we doing
And
here,
why are you
dude?
here? Yeah.
You know? So I think that's why I think I could see why she didn't last. I could see why it got to a point, even from the production standpoint, like it gets kind of hard fitting a square peg in a round hole. And these shows, um, once you are cast, right? Once you're on them, I don't care if it's the Housewives, I don't care, whatever it is, they do want you to kind of hang out outside of just filming, right? Because
Yeah.
then it just always looks like you guys are strangers. You know what I mean? So they like the idea of you guys seeing shit on Instagram where you guys go
Yeah.
out
They
and
want
have
you to
a
post
dinner
on
together.
socials and things
They
like
like
that. Yeah.
that, and I think that they noticed at some point this bitch doesn't have anything in common with these other people. And no, like you can't make that work, dude. You know what I mean? And I think I could see how I'm pretty sure this is her last year. And I could see that why it would be. And I also think like right now it's MJ and Lilly, right? But in the background, Reza's a little like Lily, take it down a notch. last episode, Asa was kind of like, what's the big deal? You can't fit someone with an RSVP? What? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think the other people, because it's one thing if she fit in and it was just always her at odds against MJ. They need that type of dynamic, right? Like Dynasty. Fucking
Yeah.
Joan Collins and Linda Evans hated each other, right? You can have that as long as you got the other elements around the show where, but I think that once other people start not liking her either, then it kind of makes it a lot more difficult. And I think that we're going to get more of that this year.
Yeah, I was honestly surprised that she even got invited back for a second season, but if I remember correctly, there's a pretty feisty dinner where she makes her exit later in the season.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good to know. And I'll tell you right now why she got invited back. The reunion. She came off the best on that reunion in terms of she was, succinct. She had her points. That whole lie. Like that's that, like, when anytime my wife was looking down because she said she was a lawyer and she knows if someone looks down that they're lying and she kept going lie, like that's great TV. Just my wife got like verbally beat up while so that's why they were like, oh, maybe we don't let this girl go yet. And then they bring her back. But I think at the end of the day, we're still reduced to, I'm like, it's like a sports fan, right? You get a guy in the playoffs and he plays like all year long. He doesn't really play that great. He's not
Uh-huh.
really he doesn't really do anything. He like, what is this guy even on the team for? And then the playoffs come and he plays outstanding. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, that's why he's here. And then you bring him back and then it's like regular season and he's not fucking good again,
That's
or she's not good again. And it's like, and I think that if there's no playoffs at the end of the season, which it sounds like you're telling me there isn't, then there's no reason to bring her back because during the course of the year, she doesn't bring enough to the show where you're like, because even that scene with her brother when he's basically telling her she's old spoiled, you don't feel bad for her. You know what I
No,
mean?
you
Like
just think she
you
has a
don't.
weird family.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, oh, that house must suck at the holidays. You know what I'm saying? You're like I know, again, one of those things. I know that my wife this year goes on that trip to Turkey, and I know at some point she has a breakdown about not having or not being able to have kids or thinking that she was going to have kids. Then how do I know that? Because to this day, people talk about that scene like it meant something to them. It made them think about their life and, like they really identified with it. And you're talking about the same conversation. Lily's having the same conversation right now with her brother. And my wife had a vulnerable moment like that later on. Again, we didn't get to it yet, but I just know no one gave a shit about Lily. You know what I mean?
No,
No one
no one's
gave a
ever
shit
brought
about
that scene
that.
up ever again.
Yeah, it was like, all right, yeah. It's like, okay, so yeah, you should get to it. Maybe he's right. Um, but yeah, so I'm curious to see how this was definitely a better episode than the first episode. I'm curious to see how this will all play out. And I do know that, like I said, I know they go to Turkey and I know a lot of other things happen this year. As can't thank you enough, Derek. You were great again. I look forward to doing this with you again if you'd like to come back. And
I'm definitely down. I'm excited rewatching the show again because I forget about these things too. Like half of the stuff that happened in this episode, I forgot all about. So it's great
yeah,
to see
but
it
you
again,
make
and I
great
love hearing
points,
your
man. You made
recaps on
some
it
great
too.
points during this. You get, and again, I wonder if it's because we're men. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if that's why we see it. Like, I'm curious, like,
Will
because
be
there's certain
interesting to
shit
hear
that
if you
you
get some
pointed out
feedback
that I
from.
know that I saw because I'm a dude. You know what I mean? Like,
Obviously, I think your podcast is overwhelmingly female, so it'd be interesting to hear some of the comments if you get some feedback
yes,
on like
yes,
what
yes,
we
yes,
think versus what they think. So
yes,
I'll be
yes.
looking forward to that.
And yes, comment. If you're watching it on YouTube, feel free to comment there. If you want to comment on our Instagram, our social, whatever. But yes, Derek and I would be curious to know what you broads think. And with that, thank you so much again, Derek. This is very last minute. And, I don't think it goes without saying, I want to wish you, your family, everybody important to you in your life, a very healthy, a very happy Thanksgiving. And if we don't do this again, I want to wish you a very happy holiday as well.
Thank you. Same to you, MJ, Shams, and even Darth Vita. Appreciate
Yeah,
it, Tommy.
man. You have a great rest of your day, buddy.
Thank you.